Hello, hashtag Verse TV family, and welcome. It's week 238. I'm Aaron Mack, and guess what, you guys? Our good friend Kevin, aka CBC Base Complexity, is looking to have a return in a slightly different capacity that we've discussed, but next week, yay! So it'll be a surprise where he'll pop up and we'll be like, yay. Anyway, so yes, it's week 238. Share, subscribe, share again, and also click like on this video. You know, I've been watching a lot of programming and they talk about the importance of clicking like. So many people are like, click like. And I'm like, I never ask anybody to click like. I apologize. So thank you. And please do click like. Now, my older-ish song this week is coming from none other than November 23rd, 1999. We're gonna party like, remember, like that song? Actually, I think it hit number one again in the year 1999, even though I think it came out 1980 something. But the song 1999 by Prince, aka the artist formerly known as Prince. Anyway, this song is November 23rd, 1999's song Sweet Kisses by Jessica Simpson. And that is the title track of that album, Sweet Kisses. And I love that song. I think I fell in love with that song as an adult because honestly, when I was younger, when I was in high school, and Brittany and Christina and Jessica were all out, I love everybody. And I particularly love this song because as an adult, I was able to connect with what she talks about. She opens the song, first line in the song. Couldn't look me in the eyes. He apologizes. He didn't make enough to take me out tonight. I beg. Okay, I don't need to keep going. But I love that song. And I remember when I fell in love with that song in my adulthood. I think I was like in my late 20s, even though, again, it came out in 99 when I was a teenager, but I fell in love with it in my late 20s. And I remember I would listen to that line and I'd be like, oh, I would be so satisfied to tell my man to please look up. I, I, I beg him not to worry. Please don't turn away. I don't need a world of riches. I just need a little time with you and sweet kisses. And I love kisses. Oh my gosh. Yes, I do. Anyway, okay. So, you know what we're going to do? It is that time of appreciation being shown, and I will first try to pull it up this way. And then if it does like ridiculous stuff, which it's going to do, so never mind. Never mind, y'all. I can just I stall for time. I stall for time. It's a tactic. It's a stall tactic. Anyway, so for our time of sharing, thank you. Thank you. I would like to first. Here we go. Good. Here we go, loop-de-loo. Here we go, loop-de-lie. And these thank yous are in no particular order per se. It's just a showing of appreciation. So, Uruguay, actually, Ukraine, thank you. And France, thank you. And Egypt, thank you. And Cuba, thank you. And United Kingdom, thank you. And Germany, thank you. And Belgium, thank you. And United States, thank you. And everybody, thank you. Also, India. I apologize. I didn't mention India. India is in this group. So thank you. Thank you all very much. Very much. Thank you all for checking out hashtag Verse TV. It is nothing but love. Absolutely. All right. So I did say that I was going to start talking about my debut album a little bit as promotion, because when it first came out way back in 2013, I didn't tell anybody. I just expected it to become a big hit album, just unknown, uh, kind of like what I was just looking at. But anyway, I will not complain. I will not complain. See, I don't even know why it's doing that or whatever. It's just whatever. It's whatever. Everybody, thank you. Everyone around the globe, thank you very much. And yes, do check out my debut EP, Patience is a Virtue, on SoundCloud under Aaron Mack, my name, AARONMCK, and the album is entitled Patience is a Virtue. Right now it's in there as a playlist because I haven't been able to convert it to an album. I don't know why, but bear with me. But it is up as a playlist right underneath my second album, which is entitled Selfie No Filter. where I'm actually, so my first album, I wasn't openly gay. I wasn't, but it was still very sincere. I just made it a point not to mention gender in anything. But my second album, I made it a point to mention gender. Anyway, all right, hashtag Verse TV family. Are we ready to get this show on the road? Yes. How long has it been? How long has it been? I think I did everything. I think so. Yes. So, share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you very much. Very much thank you.
Hashtag growth age at I am Lonnie B. Hashtag Verse TV 238A.
Bitch, I know I'm getting old because there's certain signs in my life that's showing me. Like, for an example, everything just seemed too loud to me. Turn the TV down. Stop walking so hard. Bitch, shut up. You're too loud. Certain holidays that I used to like as a kid, I don't like no more, bitch. The 4th of July, all that snap, crackle, and pop shit, bitch, no, they shooting. Halloween, all that boogeyman shit, identify yourself. Take that mask off. I'm getting old, bitch. I take naps throughout the day. Bitch, I'm sleepy now. I don't explain shit to nobody. I'm not coming. Why? Because I'm not coming. I sit in my car for a few minutes before I get out. Why? Because I really don't want to be here. I just don't feel like being bothered today. Bitch, that's like every day now. I ride in my car with the music off, asking myself questions and shit. What I'ma eat? I make noises and shit when I'm bending down, tying my shoe, bitch, like, I open the blinds throughout the house and I turn the lights off. I look at my phone while it rings. I still save all my plastic bags. I'm in the bed by 10 p.m. I still use bar soap. And I show up places just to tell the people I'm ready to go home. Why? Because I'm going to bed.
So I was adding to what I am going to say because I was like, I didn't even catch this at first, but I too save my plastic bags, even though I've heard that they can attract roaches. But I have a cat, and that would just be a toy for my cat. So that's why ever since I got a cat, I don't even see any vermin at all because she is a hunter. Thank you, girl. Yes. Anyway, but yes. So I do the plastic bags thing too. I also take naps throughout the day. I also wanted to mention that is when he talked about the noise, I'm like, I don't get angry about it or tell people to shut up or stop making the noise, but I do notice it. I don't know. I'm 40. I'm 40, y'all. Oh my gosh. And I do notice, like, in my apartment, they've put kids on my floor now. I don't know if they were trying to not do that when I first got here because there were no kids at all. But now, oh my gosh, kids on the floor do nothing but just run, 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 run. And I get it because I used to run up and down run up and down the halls and up and down the steps with my brother when we were little kids. So I get it. I get it. You know, kids like to run and have fun. Again, I don't hate it. I'm just acknowledging it. And these kids cuss a whole lot. Oh my gosh, like they're anyway. But you know, it's my understanding in the state of Ohio, like some apartments used to be adults only. And I remember when I first heard about that, I was like, why would an apartment be adults only? That's so wrong and that's discriminatory. But now I kind of see why. But now, outside of being a 55 and older community, which I'm only 15 years away from, but outside of that, it's like, no, it was determined that it's illegal and indeed discriminatory to be in adults only apartment. So it is what it is. Anyway, also, I do prefer my personal routines and just sticking with myself and doing me. I have so much to say about that, but I will not take myself on that tangent at all. I will also say, as far as holidays, I am much less into holidays now. Particularly after my mom passed away, because I remember right before my mom passed away, and I'm so grateful I made the right decision for this in this case. But my mom and I I know, don't make myself cry. But my mom and I used to always bang Pat Sazacs? No. Bang pots and pans at the turn of the new year. Like that was our thing. We'd make a lot of noise, like, yay, happy new year. And one year, while I was in college, and again, college was my thought sexual exploration days. A dude offered me an opportunity to ring in the new year with his dick in my mouth. And honestly, when I would do such things, it wasn't just at any time. It wasn't just for the sake of the physical interaction. It was because I was looking for love in all the wrong bedrooms. And but he offered me the opportunity to ring in the new year that way with him. And I'm so glad I turned him down. I said no. I'm gonna ring in the new year with my mom. And we did. Ooh. I see a mental health counselor for stuff, y'all. I do. Wow. And 13 days later, 13 days later, she passed away. And I'm so glad that I did not do that. I feel that if I did meet him and that happened 13 days later, I would have blamed myself so much. I already, honestly, I'm being honest with y'all, kind of partially blame myself, or have in the past blamed myself for telling her I was same gender loving. And I'm like, and she passed away the next year. But a year later, in my mind, I was like, oh, it's because I told her that I'm gay. And it's like, even though my mom was totally like, I've been waiting for you to be comfortable enough to tell me, I have absolutely no problem. Anyway, so yeah, I don't do, I don't fall in love with holidays. I do them when I'm invited to them. Again, myself and my routine. I like being just in my routine, doing my thing, my thizzle. But for me and myself, holidays don't do a whole lot for me. Anyway, also, as far as the fireworks thing, and this will be my closing, kind of. I remember in Baltimore, I would hear like pop, pop, pop. And I'm like, oh, especially when I moved to the west side of Baltimore, I would hear those pop, pop, pops. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they are shooting so much. And then like one day I look in the sky and it was like July, but one day I look in the sky, in the night sky, and I'm like, wait a minute, they are literally busting fireworks. And that's just, I don't know. But when they do it up here in where I live now in Cleveland, I was talking to a dude who knows about my area. And I was like, yeah, in Baltimore, like when you hear the pop, 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 it's just fireworks, it's not gunfire. And he was like, yeah, but where you live now, yeah, that's probably gunfire. I'm like, stop it. He was just being a hater. Anyway, as far as all of these attributes, I'm 40 years old. Yes. Anyway, all right. So the hashtag Verse TV family yes or no question, is it is it okay for age to make you less pleasant? And my answer is approximately like kinda no, I don't think so. Maybe life and trying has worn you out, and I get that. I do understand that, yes. But I don't, but don't be like the song that I love by Taylor Swift and the song Anti-Hero. Don't be like that woman in the video who basically the song is about how she did so many wrong things. She was so mean in her life and her adulthood that when she passed away, the family was like basically ding dong, the witch is dead. So don't do that just for the sake of doing that. Again, I will say I understand life can be tough. Life can be tough. And it can wear us down. But we've got to keep trying. We can't give up. We can't give up. We can't give up. All right, hashtag Verse TV family. Are you ready for the next? Yes. Share, subscribe, and share again. Thank you. That's my Whitney Houston thank you. I'm sorry. Okay.
Hashtag HeyShoreTV238 at MagicBaby48. Hashtag VerseTV238B.
So we better hurry.
But if you take away the dots, we won't be sisters anymore.
Tabitha, you can be sisters without looking alike.
But that girl in the park said that Lisa and me can't be sisters because I'm white and she's black. That's right, Mrs. Stevens. That's what she said.
Well, she was wrong. Sisters are girls who share something. Usually the same parents, but if you share other things, good feelings, friendship, love, the way you two do, well, that makes you sisters in another way. Actually, all men are brothers, even if they're girls.
Well, I guess Mama would be kind of upset to see the polka dot.
Oh, I love everything about that scene. And yes, kids don't understand and are taught this social construct of race. And again, I go back to when I was living in Middletown, New York, and I was like, I don't know why people call me black. Like, if anything, I'm brown. And my friends who were white. They were like, yeah, and I don't understand why they call us white. If anything, we're peach. And it's like, kids don't understand the concept of race. So wouldn't it be beautiful if we would teach the kids, yes, there is ethnic diversity in the world. Yes. And that ethnic diversity plays a role. And we're all equal. Brothers and sisters, all equal brethren. And there's beauty in the diversity of our ethnicities. But again, race is just some made up thing to separate us. So, hashtag Verse TV family, are we ready for the next? Ooh, this is gonna be a good one, y'all. All right, how many minutes? I'm gonna stall. No, I'm not gonna stall. I'm just kidding. Anyway.
Hashtag holding on at Mr. Charlie Bird. Hashtag Verse TV 238C. Summary. The first guy pictured broke up with the second guy after college because he wanted to wait until marriage, and the first guy told him that you will either give up that attempt or you will end up alone forever. But ...
Isn't it so marvelous that the good guy always wins? When you do the right thing, you always, always, always come out on top. And I love my tops. I do. Oh my gosh, Aaron, I'm not. Don't you dare. I will, if you, anyway. But yes. As far as that, I think it's marvelous that his decision led him to love. And he found his love. And they were able to break open the freshness seal of their virginity together. That's a beautiful thing. Yes, it is. And with that being said, I will say that kind of like why I loved X-Men as a kid. X-Men, the cartoon, X-Men the cartoon, see, I'm showing my age, you know, I'm 40 years old. And I would love the X-Men cartoon because while other cartoons, when I was that age, would always have a clear good versus a clear evil, X-Men would actually show the fact that it's not always just a distinct good versus evil. Most people aren't just trying to be evil for the sake of being evil, you know, just like, well, okay. And with X-Men, it's just that, yeah, they were on opposing sides, but they were just fighting for different things that they believed in. And I loved that about X-Men. I thought that was so cool of the show. Anyway, I remember an ex of mine. So, just like the Jessica Simpson song Heart of Innocence, that I love so very much, I have a gift for you, from that same album, something I've held on to. While, yes, I was a thought in college, a self proclaimed thought, sexual exploration, I, through songs like that by Jessica Simpson, and also Destiny's Child Stay, through those songs, I was like, you know what? I might do a lot of oral with dudes, but there are certain things that I'm going to save. And I held on to those things that will remain nameless because this is, some people might be eating dinner. Actually, let me stop. But anyway, I decided to hold on to some things, and I did. And when I finally met the man that I thought I was going to marry, I gave it all up to him. And he, living in the world, was not also a virgin, which was not a problem for me, but he was very experienced in everything that I had known of. And he was actually upset with me for not being as skilled at the game of sex on that level. And I think there's more to it than that, to the extent that I think the MS thing kind of partially played a role, even though at that time I wasn't even using any walking aids. It's just that I wasn't able to walk more than a mile. But I think stuff like that is what got him to like dig in with things that he was really not satisfied with. And that was one of the things, the sex thing. He was like, I know you like held on to it or whatever, but I don't feel like it's worth it. Not for me. I wish that you had more experience so you could do me better. So you could do it better. Anyway, so also in terms of holding on to it for your righteous reasons. I remember not too long ago, I spoke with an Uber driver woman who was in her 50s and a virgin because she was saving it. And it's complicated. Just like X-Men, it's complicated because on the other side of that exact coin is the fact that abstinence is the safest way. Anything else, there's a possibility of STDs, STIs, there's a possibility of a whole heap of things. And a number of those things you can't get rid of. Like on one of my favorite shows ever, Strangers with Candy, when Mr. Jellyneck got an STI or whatever. Whatever, put a huge sore on his lip. He's like, yes, sometimes you, from Chuck Knoblet, because that's part of what I loved about the show as well. Like Chuck Knoblet and Joffrey Jellyneck, they had a gay love affair, but technically Chuck Knoblet was cheating on his wife and all of that. The show was just all around wrong. Like everybody was doing something wrong. Like the stepmother was also cheating with a man, and he was like, I'm sorry, I can't stay for dinner. I've got to go home to my wife. And that was right after the mom, Sarah Blank, explained to Jerry Blank the beauty of being in love and how much she was in love with Stu, the man she was cheating with. And he's like, yeah, I'm sorry. I gotta go. I gotta go home to my wife. And Sarah Blank was like, see, Jerry, see how important marriage is? It's like, oh, anyway. But yeah, that show is amazing. Chuck Noblett, of course, was played by none other than the exceptional Stephen Colbert. I love it. Marvelous. But yes, abstinence is the only way to be 100% safe. And some people do care about things like body count and STD count. And it, maybe it's different for hetero people, but sometimes the thing that's told for the men is to reach to find the woman that has had less, the closest to virginal woman, which makes it kind of complicated. Now, again, like I was in the gay community, so like I said, he wanted me to be experienced. But it is what it is. By the way, he says he absolutely never, ever, no chance, no way that he watches hashtag First TV. He said, he told me that. And he's like, I absolutely, positively do not watch that show, hashtag First TV. I want nothing to do with it. And I was like, oh, okay, thanks, I guess, cool. Anyway, so, but yeah, for heteros, like sometimes, while the men are often encouraged to run out and spread their seed like a sprinkler system, they are also encouraged to find a woman who has not done that. But it comes down to a question of how long should you hold on to it? You know, what time is it? Third? Okay, yeah. You know, how long do you need to hold on to it? Because going back to that woman who was in her 50s, still holding on to it. And I told her what I believe. I believe that she will find the one for her who will appreciate it. Oh my gosh. Now I'm thinking about myself too. Yes, she will. Yes, she will. So, my conclusion, one, it's complicated. And maybe there's a happy medium between being a thought and being a prude. Maybe. But I will also say a friend of mine, when I told him when I broke up with the other dude who was like, oh, I wish you had more experience. I was like, you know what? I already gave it all up to him, so I'm tired of holding on to it. I might as well just give it up to any and everybody. And just like the woman in the Rose is Still a Rose video by Queen Aretha Franklin, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just start giving it up to any and everybody. And I spoke with a friend of mine who was like, no, Aaron, because what you don't want to do is you don't want to get out here, be wild, and give it up to any and everybody and get something that you can't give back, you know, ever. So it's like, yeah, and there are more diseases out there than just HIV, y'all. There's more than just that. That's not the only one, right? Again, it's complicated. And yeah, a number of my friends, actually, those who are HIV positive, got the HIV diagnosis from somebody who they loved and trusted. So it's complicated. Oh my gosh. Like how much time? This is a very long topic. Sorry, y'all, but I know in talking with guys that I have subsequently dated and dating, I always make it a point to explain that whenever we get to the point of having anal sex, I want us to always wear condoms, period. Because I have friends who, well, one friend in particular, he explained that he and his boyfriend, they went through getting tested together and they were both negative, yay! And then they started going raw together because, hey, we're both negative, we both love each other, we can go raw now, yay! And one day they got into an argument, and the boyfriend stepped outside of the relationship and went, I almost cussed like one of the kids in this apartment, but went raw with the person he cheated with because he was so accustomed to going raw with my friend. He's like, well, I'm cheating, but I'm going to keep going raw again. And guess what? The guy he went raw with was HIV positive. And guess what? He went home to my friend and didn't want to tell my friend that he cheated because cheating is a shameful thing. So he ended up wanting to make sure that everything still seemed normal and on the up and up. He's like, yeah, okay, hey, baby, I love you tonight. I love you. Let's go raw again. Because if I ask to put on a condom now, it'll seem like something might be up. But I want everything to seem normal. And guess what? He passed his HIV to my friend. So sometimes, that's, again, bringing things full circle, just like X-Men. Sometimes it's complicated. It's complicated. Yes, holding on to the virginity can be a marvelous thing. And if that's your path that you want to take it and take it with pride. And yeah, maybe you'll possibly end up like the 50-plus-year-old woman who's a virgin, or maybe you'll end up like the dude in those photos, wedding photos, married to a love who loves you, who waited for you, waited with you, and you all are able to explore each other together for life happily. And if you're somebody who wants to go out and have a little bit of sex, you can do that. You must be safe. You must be safe. You must be safe. Wrap it up. All of that. And if it helps you, think about my friend who got it from his partner when they had gotten tested together and they were both negative at the time. So the hashtag VerseTV family, yes or no question. If a good potential partner actually presented you with their V card, with their virginity, would they get extra points from you? If a potential partner presented you with their virginity, would they get extra points from you? Or would you be like my ex who was like, well, I wish that you knew better about how to have sex and get. Again, he promised me he promised me that he never, ever, ever watches hashtag VerseTV, even though we're friendly. But he's like, I just want you to know, I will never, ever, ever watch hashtag Verse TV or hashtag Verse TAVs or hashtag Ving Rhames or something, Stop. Hashtag Ving Rhames television. What? I've heard it pronounced so many different ways from people who just make mountains out of molehills. My answer to the question is yes, they would get extra points from me. And still, most important, yes, they would get extra points from me. And yes, personality is still most important to me. So I don't care if your path had you to be someone who was living as a sex worker or doing porn, or if you were a prude yourself. Either way, that's fine with me, as long as you're cool with where I am and you care about me enough to care about us being safe wherever we interact. My ex, this is a really long topic. What time? I will not make the time to go into this topic. I have been going on and on and on forever, like Erykah Badu. By the way, that week that with the Durand Bernard video, and I was like, yeah, Erykah Badu's song 360. I don't know why I said 360. It didn't come to my mind. But yes, her talking about I was born underwater with $3.06 does represent I was born 360. I was born whole. And the song is entitled On and On. All right. Share, subscribe, share again, and please do click like. All right.
Hashtag Later Truth at Jessica N. Turner. Hashtag VerseTV238D.
My ex-husband came out in 2020. Since divorcing, we've worked to still have a loving relationship. For his 50th birthday, our kids and I gave him a deck of cards of 50 things we love about him. It was beautiful to remind him of his worth on this milestone birthday. He laughed and he cried as he read every card. Many people ended their relationship with him after he came out. Divorce could have ruined us, but instead it's made us stronger. Love is a choice, and it's one I'm so glad we continue to make every single day.
Yes. And being that he's newly 50, just like I'm newly 40, that means he's a fellow 3 baby. So I'm 83, he's 73. And it's like, yes. And us, I don't want to call us older people, but us up in age and different generationally, it's we get a later start in life as for being gay. Now it's beautiful, 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 absolutely beautiful how young same-gender loving people nowadays can get that same early start as their heterosexual counterparts now, but we weren't able to do that. So, here he is coming out at 50, here I have things I can connect myself to it at 40, but I will. I have nothing to share yet. Anyway, but it's not too late Now, I will say this, going back to the book Queer Love in Color, with one of the older gay couples, the guy was like, yeah, you can wait and put off finding love if you want, but just bear in mind that when you get older, you'll be grumpier and your partners could be grumpier. And they use the word grumpy, just talking about it being harder to connect with people because you're older. So you're potentially more set in your ways in things. And it takes a lot of conscious effort to not let that deter you from love. Yes, yes, Mr. 50-year-old. Okay, we're not too old. Okay, we're not. And you didn't start late with your family. You're able to grow your family. And that's a beautiful thing. And I hope that you'll be able to keep it sounds like your ex-wife is really cool. So she'll probably be cool with you and your husband. Yes, husband. Whoop whoop. You and your husband taking part in raising those young kids of yours. In addition to her and her new husband. You and your new husband. So anyway, yes, all of that's beautiful. Now, as far as the people who left him because he came out, and I think this goes without saying, but I'm still going to say it. They weren't your friends. They weren't your friends, buddy. Just, I don't want to say F them because, again, I don't want to talk like the kids in my apartment. But they weren't your friends. They weren't. And right, they weren't your friends because they didn't love the whole you. They didn't love the whole man, the whole you. They loved you conditionally. And isn't that what they talk about God does for us? And we should be trying to be like God in our love for others. But, we keep just falling short of the glory, don't we? Not loving people the way that God loves us. Anyway, so yes, loving on conditions. And yeah, when I started #verse, as far as us being able to be more comfortable later in life, and I'll also reference Tevin Campbell talking about an interview that he did where he spoke of the fact that he's openly gay now, or openly same-gender loving now. And oh, by the way, last week when I talked about Tevin Campbell and his situation allegedly, that's all alleged. And a friend of mine who's actually got connections in the industry, he was like, that's all BS. Tevin Campbell does not do that. That is not true. So there it is. It is not true. And Tevin Campbell, I remember the woman in the interview, and I've seen that interview before. I don't know why I missed it before, but the woman in the interview was like, how do you feel now when you see people like Lil Nas X and other openly gay celebrities being able to be openly gay? And he was like, I love it. I'm happy for them. I wish that was the case when I was younger. And it wasn't the case when we were younger, Tevin. No. But it is the case now. And we're not too old. We're not. Even Mr. 50, he's not too old. None of us are too old. Darn it. I keep hitting my chair. Anyway, but yes, we're not too old. It's not too late. You know, we have to be careful not to let grumpiness take us away from the potential men for us. It is not 57. I really misjudged this time. Okay. Well, this is an exciting time for living your truth, and we are impacting the future positively by living our truth. Young and old, living our truth, we are impacting the future positively. So let's keep it up, y'all. We can do it. The hashtag Verse TV family, yes or no question. In spite of your late start, will you go forward? Generally speaking, in spite of your late start, will you still go forward? Generally speaking. And my answer is yes. I can't give up. And I say that about my MS stuff and just everything. Life, I can't give up, can't give up. Let's keep going. We can do it. We can do it, team. So, share, subscribe, and share again. And here is,
Hashtag Cerebral TV 238 at The Overachieve Hers at Black Gay Magic _ at FM Smith 319 at Mr. Krim 3. Hashtag First TV 238E.
Let's go back to the research. You and I have talked about this before. The research shows that we're not lowering our standards in business in order to promote women and people of color. We actually hold them to a higher standard. That white men are promoted based on potential. I think that young man is going places. Let's give him a chance. Whereas women and people of color are promoted based on what they've achieved. So when you hear, you know, gentlemen, when you hear your spouse, your friends, your et cetera, come home and say, gosh, I have to work twice as hard to make it, you know, as far, there really is some truth to this. And again, I think it's because of these implicit, I don't know if we want to use the word bias, but this comfort level we have with bringing along people like ourselves.
Is $100,000 the new middle class? I hate to say it, but I think it's actually 120. Hear me out on this. I think a staple of the middle class is owning a home. And in order to own a home these days, you need to make about $120,000 if you carry some debt to afford a $375,000 or $400,000 house, which is the average home in America. Your net pay on 120 is going to put about $7,800 into your pocket. But your house payment on a house like that with these interest rates is about $3,700 out the door, $300 in utilities. You're at $4,000 just for housing. Then you got $800 for health and car insurances. You got $1,000 for groceries, $300 to put gas in the cars, $150 on cell phones. Maybe one of you have student debt for $400. Maybe one of you still have a car payment for $500, $250 in credit cards, $100 for personal care, $100 for subscriptions. And this is if you don't have kids or have pets. And you're left with about $200. But this doesn't account for, again, if you have kids, a savings account, $500 a month into a Roth IRA, or putting money towards your debt to be debt free, or the big one is having fun, being able to go out, once a week, or buy gifts, or save up for a vacation. So this is $120,000 a year. This is wild. And just 3 years ago, you could achieve this same life for $70,000. It nearly doubled in just 3 years. And that's why we continue to talk about this, because no one's ever seen this kind of a shift this quickly.
So I was scrolling through Ground News the other day and I came across this article. It says that FBI crime statistics show anti-LGBTQ hate crimes on the rise. If you had to make a guess, what percentage of publications that reported on this story do you think are right-wing or conservative? Let me know what you think in the chat. I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. If you guessed 0%, you're absolutely right. And this is super dangerous, y'all, because the amount of hate crimes directed towards the LGBTQ plus community has risen drastically. There's a nearly 14% increase in reports based on sexual orientation and about a 33% jump in reported hate crimes based on gender identity. And Black Americans remain the top targeted group of all hate crimes, accounting for 22% of all hate crimes, and about 56% of all hate crimes are race or ethnicity based. Along those same lines, Jewish folks and Black Americans are the most targeted group, and the number of hate crimes against Jewish Americans rose significantly, reaching its highest level since 1995. So it's especially troubling, but not surprising, that there aren't any right-wing or conservative publications that are talking about this, because many of them actually generate traffic by espousing hateful rhetoric that contributes to the significant rise in hate crime. So why would they report on this unless they were reporting on it to pat themselves on the back, right? But this is just one of the many reasons why I love Ground News, y'all, because they're taking trending stories across the internet and reporting on them from an unbiased perspective to show you who's reporting on it the most, from the right, the left, and the center. For example, with this most recent story about a trial date being set for the alleged killers of Tyre Nichols, you can see that 12% of right-wing publications did report on that. Not only is Ground News breaking it down for you like that, but they're also giving you a concise summary of what each perspective is talking about, from the right, the center, and the left. In an era of clickbait where it's hard to truly trust where your news is coming from or even teach media literacy, this is important, y'all. So for all my folks on the right, I'm wondering, why didn't y'all report on this? So check this story out on Ground News for yourself and let me know. If we received more balanced reporting on stories like this, do you think it would lead to a decrease in hate crimes?
Share, subscribe, share again, and click like, please and thank you. And to close up,
Hashtag Live Mike TV 238, hashtag Sounds of Blackness at King Black 08, hashtag Verse TV 238F.
Yes, all right. That is, of course, Sounds of Blackness with the song Optimistic from their Evolution of Gospel album. And I love that album. I almost said discovered, came across it in my adulthood, the actual CD, that is. Of course, I knew the song Optimistic, but as far as the actual CD, I was like, oh my gosh, yes. And I would play it so much. And again, this is like my mid to late 20s. And at that time, there would be times that I would require myself to only listen to gospel music. I'd only allow myself gospel music because I was in the mindset that, you know, the music that you listen to, you put in your system, it can make a difference. Now, while today I'm a little more liberal with the music that I allow into my system, as far as not requiring things to be gospel only, I am still cognizant of that because there are certain things that I just don't like to hear for that very reason. And sometimes, like if I'm listening to something and it makes me sort of flinch because it's so extreme, I'll be like, and actually, unfortunately, not extreme, but so run of the mill for today nowadays. But anyway, so yes, Evolution of Gospel was the title of that album, and Jimmy Jam, and I believe that was 91, I think. But believe it or not, Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis are the ones who brought together the group Sounds of Blackness. And it was sort of like a pet project to an extent. And of course, the third woman who sang in that clip was none other than the exceptional Ann Nesby. And as far as Sounds of Blackness music, yeah, I remember this in the early days of hashtag Verse TV, a connection of mine where I actually did some recording of my first album of my, well, I just recorded at his studio a lot in general. He lived in Baltimore, and he was doing this podcast project, and he actually asked me to take part in it. And at that time that I was doing that, I'm like, okay, yeah. So I'm doing this, and hashtag Verse TV is a new, bright and exciting thing. And I will have a chance to speak my own mind on this show with him and this podcast. Ultimately, it didn't work out because we were trying to make it like a music podcast, but the music would always get flagged. So it was like, sorry, we can't do it. But it was at that time that I fell in love with the song We're Going All the Way, also by Sounds of Blackness. And from their Africa to America, the Evolution of the Drum album. And I love that song, We're Going All the Way. And Sounds of Blackness, just in general, is an exceptional ensemble with inspiring and uplifting and encouraging just everything. Marvelous, simply marvelous, darling. And yes, I will talk to you later. Hashtag Verse TV family. Peace. VerseTV.com. There we go. Hashtag VerseTV.com. Stay blessed. All right.